Hello y'all, welcome to Inktober day 1. Today we're going to learn how to draw crystals. So first things first, get your cheapo copy paper and your cheapo pencil. A number 2 pencil is fine, whatever you have lying around the house will work. You'll probably also want an eraser, just whatever eraser you have that isn't going to smudge whatever you're working on. So I like to test my erasers in the bottom corner of where I'm drawing because probably not going to see it later. So as long as it doesn't smudge and it works, there's my eraser. If you're going to be using a pencil like this and not a mechanical pencil is totally fine. Go ahead. But if you're using one that needs to be sharpened, then I recommend having a sharpener on hand. This was like a $6 one from Stedler, and I love it. I carry around with me in my purse. So we have that on hand, and now we're going to do our hand warm-up. So everybody join me and clap your hands together and rub them together really hard. I learned this at a drawing school in Berkeley. Now we're doing the backs of our hands and the tops of our hands. Now you're going to clench them together and squeeze them really hard and stretch them out. Maybe stretch a little bit. Do a squat or two, get your blood flowing. I have low blood pressure, so it's important for me to do this every 15 to 30 minutes, or I just zone out. Okay, so let's do some warm-ups. Go over the basics. Here's a line. Here's another line parallel to that line. Aren't they pretty? Now we're going to do some slanted lines right next to each other. Make those nice and pretty and all the same. The other way. This is how I warm up every day. Okay, now you want to do some curved lines. The other way. It's okay if it doesn't look right. We're just warming up. I've already been drawing today, so this is for your guys' sake. Alright, now we're going to do some squares. We'll do some even ones. One that's a little tall. That's a rectangle. One that's a little squat. That's also a rectangle. Maybe do some little circles and make them bigger and bigger and bigger. That's nice. Okay. Now let's talk about what a crystal looks like. Alright, I'll just draw it and then I'll go over how to do it. I'm thinking when most people think of a crystal, they think of something like this. It's got a spear shape at the top and sort of a square shape at the bottom. Or if you want to make it a little more complicated, maybe it looks like that. Yeah, that's even more crystally looking. Don't forget the bottom. Something like that, okay? So I'm going to teach you some basic shapes that you're going to combine to make this shape. And then we're going to go over the shading. There's a few different ways you can shade a crystal. You can do this gradual thing. Or you can do this. You can put little strokes in the side. A little highlight there. Another highlight. Okay. And then you can make it even more detailed by mirroring that on the other side. So, how do you do it? How do you do it, Master Liz? This is how. Okay, let's move on to, I'll teach you how to make a basic prism first. So, we'll take the square. Let's start with two squares, two small squares. Put the other one up over here, kind of diagonally away from it. Or you can put it down here or over there, off to one of the corners. Okay. And now you're going to connect this top right corner to this top right corner. Okay. Now we're going to do the bottom right hand corner to the bottom right hand corner. The same thing with the top left, same thing with the bottom left. And they end up sharing a line. Yours might not share a line. That's fine. Okay, so this is a rectangular prism. There you go. Rectangular prism. That's for your notes. And you're basically going to take that and just give it a pointy end. Oops, I didn't draw that right. Something more like that. Let me see, how would I do it on this side? I would extend that line out like that. That would be a, I don't know what you call that, but something like a rectangular, a rhombus prism. No, that's not a rhombus prism. This is a rhombus. It's just a squashed square. You can do the same thing. You can actually start with the lines first if that's easier for you. So you can, this is funny because this is what like sugar crystals look like. They're just little squares, and then you can put another little square on it and draw lines going off it like that. The lines all have to go in roughly the same, not roughly, but exactly the same direction and have the same tilt, or it's going to look weird. Where was I? Okay, so the next step to get to the crystal. So you'll do the same thing, but you give it, this one kind of looks like a hexagon. You just start with two shapes like this, but you add another side. So we're going to turn this square into a house. I guess a pentagram is what you call it. It's like a house that's a little fat on top. Okay. And then I'll put the next one over here, and I want it to look exactly the same if I can. They're not exactly the same, but that's okay. And I just want to connect the same points like I did before. So I'm going from the top. These share a line, so from the top to the top of that one. This ends up sharing a line. Okay, this one, top left to top left, bottom left to bottom left, bottom right to bottom right. Okay. Now you can do it again and add a point on the bottom this time. So let's start over with the new shape. I'm gonna make the house and then put the pointy roof on the bottom. And do another one right here, I think will be good. Yeah. The bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna connect the bottom points. I'm gonna connect the top points. This one's gonna come out funny looking. Over there. I guess I should have made this one a little bit fatter. Okay, bottom left to bottom left. Top right to top right. Yeah, it looks a little wonky. Okay. And if you want, you could put a little point on it right now. Just go from the bottom left and the top right, and just kind of, let me see, I'll put a dot where I want the point to be. That looks good. And then I'll connect bottom left, top right, like that. Bottom left, top right. And now you just connect the lines, connect the lines. And now it's starting to look more like a crystal. Not perfect, but that's fine. We're just practicing. These are all warm-ups, so don't freak out if you're not doing so good like me. You know, obviously this is not gonna be perfect, and that's fine. Nothing in life is perfect, not even computers. Okay, so you got your crystal here. Now you basically just make a whole bunch of those going in the same direction to make like a cluster of crystals. So that can look really complicated when you're looking at a drawing of a whole bunch of crystals, like a crystal cavern or whatever. But it's actually really simple. So if I was gonna, let's say I'm gonna put two smaller crystals, one on either side of this one. So I look at the direction the lines are going, and I just fan out a little bit. So I'll put one fanned out line there, one fanned out line there, and these are going to be the middle part of the crystal here, this like hexagonal prism. Hexagonal prism. I hope I know how to spell with points. Pointed ends. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna make the same thing, but with the side lines first instead of the shapes. So we're just gonna do one line at a time. I think the best strategy is to just put the next parallel line. Like I drew the crystal up here, it's a little fatter on top, or where the angle of the shape changes. So I can do that too. You can do that down here as well. You can fan the lines out and make the crystal a little more dynamic looking, or you can make the lines parallel like this instead of fanning them out like that. So we'll do both, and you can decide which one you like more. Okay, so this one's got a really tiny shape at the bottom, so I'm just gonna put the lines in there. So I'm starting with two little lines coming off the bottom, pointing inwards. I have a tiny little hexagon. And then here we're going to put two lines kind of straightening out. So not pointing inward too much. And then you can make the house, kind of make the stop sign, I guess you say. Now put the bottom lines that come in a little bit. And the bottom line. Okay, so there's your stop sign. Now we connect the top corners of the tiny one to the bottom corners of the big one. And we can connect that line to the top corners of the big one and the bottom corners of the small one. Okay, and now you're going to put your point on. So decide where your point is going to be. I'll put it right here. Connect it to the top corners. And now draw the lines to the other corners. There you go. That looks kind of neat. You can also Do the same thing on the other side. This will be a little bit more simple. So I'm just going to start with the bottom lines coming off the top end, sides of my stop sign, top lines of my stop sign. Okay. Same thing on the bottom. I'm going to go inwards first, sides, sides, inwards, inwards, and a line. Okay, and now I'm going to connect all those corners where they belong. Ooh. This pencil's a little bit thick for me to be trying to pull this off. Okay, put your point on. Bam. So we're getting somewhere. It's not super flashy yet, but that's okay. You've got 3 crystals right here. Great job. I'm going to take a drink. It wouldn't hurt you to have a snack. Because anytime you're using your brain, you're using calories. Your brain needs calories, so don't be afraid of the snack. Okay, so now that you know how to draw a crystal like this, we can look at this one. So I basically drew this imagining these other lines in my head. So the other lines would kind of be like this. So this has a bit of perspective, right? We're looking at it from this side. These have perspective as well, but they look a little more flat, right? This one looks more 3D. So what I'm going to teach you how to do now is you're going to take these stop signs and you're going to squash them. See how this one's kind of squashed? This stop sign looks like we're looking at it from the side edge because we are. So you're going to start with the shape that presents the most perspective. And that is the stop sign on its side. So I'll show you how to make the stop sign on its side. Basically, how do I explain this? Okay, so let's start with this back line here. I'll draw it a little bigger this time. Okay, and then the side that's closer to us is going to have more dramatic angles, and the side that's farther away from us is not. It's going to have very slightly tilted lines. So when you do the other side, the side that's further away from you, just make the tilt very shallow like that. Just so you can barely tell. Okay, and then we are, what do you call this shape? It's not exactly a stop sign, is it? I'm actually leaving out 2 sides. I don't know what it's called. Someone leave it in the comments. But this sort of long rhombus shape, yeah, it's basically like this. It's like a rhombus that got stretched out. There's a rhombus. I hope this is how you spell it. Rhombus. Stretched rhombus. Oh my gosh. See, you guys get to teach me something too. I'm not going to stop and Google it. Okay, so the next lines are going to are going to be more dramatic, right? So I'm going to make the front line bigger than the back line. Let's do this. No, that'll look weird. I'll make it the same. I'll just make sure that these lines don't cross the back line. There. And then the lines that you draw coming down from these points should come in like this a little bit. They point in at the bottom. There you go. Now let's say I wanted the top to not be as pointed as this. Let's say I wanted the point to be right here. Huh, now what do I do? Okay, so I just draw the lines from each corner going in towards the point. Ta-da! Now it looks like a crystal that's basically just been chopped off. So maybe we don't want such a shallow point. It's hardly a point at all. It's a little uneven looking. Why don't we make this, but with not quite this, but somewhere in the middle, like maybe like that. That'll look even more crystally, right? So we want to have this very like recognizable crystal shape. And I think if we make it just a little less pointy, it'll look even more like, you know, something you'd see on a tiara or a necklace. So let's do it again. Let's start with the back line that's farther away from us, the very shallow lines coming off either side. Forget the stop sign size. We're not doing that. We're making a stretched rhombus. Make sure the bottom line is the same length as the back line. It's not exactly the same length. Okay, now in order to make the point look a little higher, we're gonna have to put it outside of the stretched rhombus. We're gonna have to put it up here. I could put it up here. It would look like a tiny bit pointed, but I really want it to be a recognizable shape. So I'm gonna imagine these two little lines extending out here. Can't really see it in the video. I'm gonna put the point right there. I think it'll be really dynamic if I do that. So let's not forget the lines coming off the bottom, making the stem of the crystal. And now we'll connect each corner to the tip of the point. Yeah, there we go. And you can make the bottom, you can extend it and make it kind of look like pointed on the other end too, but I think it's much more like crystally looking if you just give it a flat bottom. I think it's a little more recognizable as a crystal if it's flat on the bottom. So there you go. There's the shape. And now let's move on to shading. So, oh, I thought I grabbed a crystal and brought it in here. No, I was wrong. That's okay. I can teach this to you anyway. Okay, so when you're doing shading, you gotta imagine where is the light source. Is this a glowing crystal? In which case you don't really have to be super picky about shading. You can be really cartoony about it. You can just like draw lines coming off like this. Or give it like a dark background and then a funny little like layer of glow around it, or whatever you want to do. You can get creative. It's art. You don't have to be realistic. But if I'm trying to make like a cool shiny looking crystal, the way I handle it is I think about the light source. So let's pretend there's like a light bulb over here. Oh, Lord help me if I know what a light bulb looks like. Okay. So the light is coming off of it like that, right? So this side of the gem is going to be more lit up than this side. So what I like to do is make the part that's closer to the highlighted part of the gem. So this whole side is going to be highlighted and this whole side is going to be shaded. But what makes it look really cool is if you make this section, which is sort of in between the dark part. Here, I'll just make this dark just to make it easier so that what I'm saying actually makes sense. Let's just go in dark. Just one even tone. No big deal. Okay. These two shapes filled in. Okay, so I'll just leave that white just so you can really get the sense of what I'm trying to tell you. But with these two shapes in the middle are going to be our gradients. And our gradients are not going to go from dark to light this way. They're going to go from dark to light that way. Dark, light. And that's going to look more dramatic. And this happens in real life too. Don't ask me why. I don't know. So I'm going to go in dark on this corner here. And then just like slowly go lighter and lighter with my pencil. Try to make your strokes as close to each other and as light-handed as possible so that you don't have to erase or anything. You can smudge with your finger to blend a little bit if you want. Kind of makes it look a little more computer edited. Some people are laughing at that, I know. Okay, I'm just going to darken up this side a little more so that it's a little more obvious. Okay, and then I'm going to put the gradient down here, start dark here, and then go light-handed. Just make your strokes very even, very gentle. You can always come back through and darken it up later, so don't go in with a super heavy hand. You know, you can just put in one light layer and then darken it up as you go back. Okay. There, see that? Isn't that neat? It also kind of makes it look like this is a little bit concave. So I'm just going to draw this same jewel a little smaller, but one more time so that you can see what it would look like if it was shaded a little bit differently. If you like shading this way, you can do this way instead. This is just what I prefer up here. So let's see what it would have looked like if I just, you know, it's a little counterintuitive doing it this way, doing it dark right next to the light. But I think it looks better, but you might not. So let's just try it the other way around, where we go from dark to light like that. So some people are going to like this better. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever you think looks more realistic or more dramatic or more exciting. There you go. Okay. And if you've got any questions or anything you want me to go in depth about, then go ahead. I'm going to make another video of me just doing my thing, making a drawing with the crystal shapes. So please tune in for that if you liked this. I hope it was helpful. If there's anything that I didn't cover that you want to know about, or anything I wasn't clear about, then just leave it in a comment and I'll be sure to get back to you. If it warrants it, I'll make another video. Why not? If you want to share your drawings with me, I would love to see them. Just tag me on Instagram as Liz the Lazy Cat. Thanks a lot. Happy Inktober. See you guys in the next one. Bye.